Not the one hair sticking up, child. Got a hoodie on because it's a little chilly now. It done went and got a little cold on me. Hey y'all, welcome back to Kid Lit Comics, realm of Kid Lit Comics, where we talk everything manga, comics, graphic novels, Kid Lit, everything related in between. And today I am here to do my 10 before the end. Now, I have been seeing this everywhere on social media. I've seen this on Book Talk. I've seen this on Bookishrealm. I have seen this make its way over to Booktube, and it is fun. I'm not a big TBR person. If you've seen me do any type of TBR in the past, it's reading plans, which I like using that because it creates this level of flexibility that I kind of need because I'm a mood reader. And I've really come to grips with the fact that I am a mood reader. And I need to be okay with that, and I am leaning into being okay with that. But I did want to do the 10 before the end because there are some books that I want to really genuinely get finished because I need to. Some of these are new releases, some of them are not new releases, some of them are literally just things that I've been holding off on reading and I need to get them done. So because this is the realm of Kidlit Comics, I decided to split my 10 into 5 and 5. So I'm doing 5 Kidlit books. So this is everything from children's, middle grade, YA, and then 5 graphic novels. I think all of my graphic novels are YA-ish / adult. So I just wanted to kind of split them up. So I'm, giving everybody a little bit of love. But we're going to start with the books and then end with the graphic novels. So you can choose whichever ones you prefer. Or if you want to stay here for both, because you know what? They both deserve some love. Then go ahead and stick it out with me. And while I have you here, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notification. If you're looking for ways to support the channel, all those links will be down in the description box below. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. All right, so starting with the books. The first one that I have on this list is Compound Fracture. And this is by Andrew Joseph White. Need I say any more? I couldn't even tell you what Compound Fracture is about. Because to be honest with you, I don't know. But I saw Andrew's name. And every book that Andrew has written has been 2. But I've given them both 5 stars. And for me, that speaks volumes, okay? I don't know how else to put it. If you've written 2 books and I've given them 5 stars a piece, that means that you are making your way into being an all-time favorite for me. And the 2 books were very, I would say, kind of like polar opposite. We had one that was like dystopian fantasy horror, and the other one was historical horror. Andrew writes these gritty, like, tales that just captivate you. Have content warnings out the woozah, but let me tell you, very well written, very well executed. I'm talking about The Spirit Bears Its Teeth, which was the historical-ish horror that came out, and then Hell Followed With Us, which was the dystopian fantasy horror, which was his first book. I have loved both of them. They've been phenomenal. Hell Followed With Us literally knocked me off my feet. It was a difficult read, but just the storytelling was immaculate in that book. I was not sure that The Spirit Bears Its Teeth was going to be able to follow, but my goodness. Oof! Perfection. Gives me chills just talking about it. So, this latest book, Compound Fracture, released this year, I believe in October. I don't know anything about it. At this point, when it comes to Andrew, why read a synopsis? Like, why? So, I'm just going to go into it, knowing absolutely nothing because I literally just trust this human completely. So that definitely had to go on this list. The next one that I wanted to include was Blood at the Root. Don't come from my throat, okay? It's been a very busy reading year for me. If you follow me on Goodreads and you've been watching me do my tracking, you know that it's been an exceptionally busy year for me. And so Blood at the Root was on my list of priorities. I have not made it to it yet. I've heard excellent things. I know that the second book just got the title and cover release within like the past couple of weeks. And so, you know, I need to get on to it because I do not want to step until next year having to read Blood at the Root and its sequel. I would rather just be able to read the sequel, and it's gotten a lot of high praise. People who I know that are not in the book community have heard about this book and have really enjoyed it. So I'm happy that it's been receiving its accolades and its high praise. Very great reviews. People that I've talked to have really enjoyed it, and so I'm looking forward to reading it as well. Okay, let's talk about a middle grade book, The Night War by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. I believe that's how you say her name. I always get the order of her name kind of like mixed up, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Kimberly can write a middle grade historical fiction, okay? Never, like, listen, I have my go-tos for middle grade historical fiction, and Kimberly is one of those people. My first encounter with her was The War That Saved My Life. I can't remember. It must have been like years ago now, and don't mind me because in the middle of the video, I am going to look up when I read that book because I enjoyed it so much. I think, as a matter of fact, I believe I was just starting my career as a librarian, and I literally had just started my career as a librarian. I was only a couple of months into my job, and I ended up reading that one and absolutely adored it. Kimberly also wrote a more contemporary book that I ended up loving, Fighting Words, which was hard. That was a hard book to read. I have a copy of it somewhere on my shelf, but that book was hard to read, but also phenomenal. So The Night War is Kimberly's latest release. It is a middle grade book set, I believe, during World War II, but it takes place in France partly. So this is coming from a different angle than I've seen her do in the past, because The War That Saved My Life also took place during World War II, but it was from an English perspective. And so the fact that this one is taking place in France gives us kind of a different viewpoint of the war. I know that people say that World War II is overly written, but I do like those who take a subject matter that a lot of people cover, but they come at it from different angles and perspectives. And so this is one that I'm definitely looking forward to picking up because Kimberly can write her ass off, okay? She really can. She's phenomenal. Absolutely adore and love her as a writer. All right, looking at my list, the next thing that I have, Tender Beasts by Lizelle Samberry, okay? I had been meaning to read this book this year. This book came out in February of this year. I went through a lot at the beginning of this year, and so a lot of what I had planned at the beginning of this year, even kind of bleeding into the summer, did not go the way I expected it to do. It's a lot of life changes that happened at the beginning of the year, and so I did not get to this in a sufficient amount of time. I read Delicious Monsters last year by Lizelle and fell in love. Did not know how much that book would be applicable to my life now, but it is. And I am super excited to get into Tender Beasts. I know Lizelle has another one coming out next year. And I still haven't even read Blood Magic, the Blood Magic duology. But I know that there's another book that is slated to come out next year. And so before we dive into next year, I do at least want to read Tender Beasts so that I can be prepared for the next book to release. And the next one that I have on this list is actually not a 2024 release, and it is Loveboat Forever. So I read Loveboat Taipei. Once again, I'm going to do another look here because I believe I read Loveboat Taipei when it first came out. But Loveboat Taipei was the first book where I had ever like read a book back to back, like read it and then picked it up again. Because I just liked the storytelling so much. that I decided that I was going to read the book again. And to date, I've read Loveboat Taipei 3 times. I really, really liked it. I know it's not everybody's favorite, but I read Loveboat Taipei. I don't think I read Loveboat Reunion twice. I'm going to check, but I think I've only read it once. Yeah, okay. So I read Loveboat Reunion in 2022. I read Loveboat Taipei 2 times in 2020, 1 time in 2021. Then read Loveboat Reunion, and Loveboat Forever came out last year, at the very end of last year. And unfortunately, I did not get the opportunity to pick it up. And I'm thinking like, dang, like a whole year has gone by and I haven't read Loveboat Forever. That's not good, because Abigail has written another book that released this year, a completely different book that's not related to the series, which the series also got I think Paramount Plus maybe did a adaptation of it. I don't know what I have going on, y'all. Like, it's one of these things where, like, once again, not finishing the series, and I really do think on my channel I need to do, like, finish the series with me, because at this point that's a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, so she came out with another one in August called Kisses, Codes, and Conspiracies, and I have not read it, so I don't know. I don't know what I have going on, but I do need to get to Loveboat Forever to go ahead and finish that series out. And I own the first 2 books. What do you know? Okay, the next section that we're going to get to is the graphic novel section. So these are all the graphic novels that I want to finish before the end of the year. It's 5 that I have in mind. No, it is not. It's not Food Wars. No, it is not Nana. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because we're not going to have these conversations. One is, I put the whole series, and the reason why I put the whole series is because it's only 2 volumes, and I really genuinely do want to get through these 2 volumes because the next volume comes out in January of next year. And it's a series that I really enjoyed. I just have not been able to sit down and finish the second one, which I've been having horrible luck with the graphic novels I've been reading lately, so maybe it is time that I sit down and read this one. But I have Cur Princess Club Volume 2. And to be quite honest with you, I also want to go ahead and finish Cur Princess Club Volume 3. The 4th volume drops January of next year. I absolutely adore this series. It is cute. It is fun. It is a part of Webtoon Unscrolled. I'm glad that they have these in physical format. The storyline is great, where we have a princess who is not conventionally attractive like her 2 sisters, and so she has trouble finding a suitor like they do. And she comes across this club that is full of cursed princesses, and they all have these things going on, and the whole purpose is to get them to accept themselves for who they are, instead of trying to fulfill the conventional beauty standards that society has placed upon them. It's just a phenomenal series, and I haven't finished it yet. I need to, just so I could be prepped for the 4th volume to release. The next one that I have on my list is Under the Oak Tree. Everyone has been talking about Under the Oak Tree. Everyone's been reading Under the Oak Tree. I literally should have just walked my behind upstairs and gotten my copy. I checked it out from the library. It is literally upstairs, sitting on my desk. No, I have not started it. Do I need to start it? Absolutely, because it's been ridiculous. Like, it's just gotten to the point where it's absolutely ridiculous that I have not started nor finished the book yet. This is another, I don't know if it's Webtoons who did this or what company. This could be coming from Tapas. I don't know. But it's kind of set in the same format that you typically see with a lot of these Webtoons like this that have been printed. That is also another one that I don't know much about, but I'm going into it without any knowledge. But I know that a lot of people have been reading it. I haven't looked at reviews of it, so I don't know if people are enjoying it, but I know that people are reading it. The next one that I have on my list is The Remarried Empress. I believe we are up to volume 8 of this manhwa series. We should be up to volume 8, and I'm about to start volume 5 now. I am on hold for volume 6, 7, and 8 with the library. How long it's going to take for those volumes to get in is a completely different story. I'm saying I want to get caught up this year. However, it may not be up to me. I'm at the mercy of when those items come in, when they get processed, and when it officially becomes on hold for me. And it's crazy because like I work in the department that does that, but once again, like, you can't control none of that stuff. It doesn't matter if it's for me or not. Like, at this point, I'm on the like patron side of things, and so I can want it all I want to want it, but it may not come in before December 31st. And so that's, I mean, there's nothing really that I can do about that. But I did want to put it on the list because I've been adamantly reading this series all year long. It's a series that I have steadily enjoyed. I think I've given every single volume 4 stars to date. It's messy. It's a lot of drama. I'm really interested in seeing, because the way that the series started is that we kind of get a glimpse of how it ends up. And so it's one of those stories where you get to see how things get to that point, which makes it even more intriguing because it's like, I know what it's going to come down to, and I know what the emperor is going to ask of the empress, and then I know what the empress is going to ask of the emperor, but I want to know how we get to that point. And so it's like the story is relative, like it's unfolding before us, and it's been really interesting. Essentially, emperor, empress, they've been betrothed. They've known each other since they were kids. They get along great until the emperor gets a mistress, and it's not unusual. However, the mistress thinks that she's the equal of the empress, and the empress is kind of like, girl, no. Like, me and you, we not the same. We not built the same. I'm the whole empress and you just the hoe. So it's kind of like, it's messy, it's drama filled. There's a lot of political intrigue to it as well. I'm a really huge fan of the artwork. There's a romance that's budding in it. I'm just excited to see where the story goes. The last one that I want, not the last one, the second to last one that I want to start and finish is volume 1 of Last Quarter by Ayazawa. This is one of the newer series that finally made its way to the US. This is an older series that I believe came out sometime in the 90s, but Viz finally got the license to it, and it's been translated to English for the first time. And this is different than anything that Ayazawa has done that I've read. This is more of a paranormal mystery, which I'm used to her more like contemporary things. Nana is contemporary, Paradise Kiss is contemporary, and then even Neighborhood Story is more of a contemporary feel to it. So I am interested in seeing what she does with something that's more supernatural, fantastical, especially because it's on the mystery side. I always say though, when I look at this artwork, I still see Nana, because Ayazawa has just such a very distinctive way of drawing that her characters have a tendency to really mirror each other. Like they don't look very removed. Like, I think the last time I talked about this, it was this scene right here where I was like, holy crap, that looks just like Nana, except with long hair. But that's just my familiarity with her as a mangaka, and so that's why it's just interesting. But I do want to get to this and just, you know, keep opening up my TBR to Ayazawa, because it's not like I finished Nana or anything. Not like I finished it at all. But I mean, like, who's counting? Who's checking? All right, the last one that I have on this list should come as no surprise to anyone. I'm actually currently working on a vlog for this, and it's been interesting talking about it. It's been interesting tabbing it, because it's not like I typically tab my manga at all. Like, I've never done this, but for the sake of the vlog that I am doing, I needed to have this kind of tabbed out, and that is One Piece by Ichiro Oda. I've already read volumes 1 through 3, so this is kind of interesting because I'm saying 10 before the end, but when it's all said and done, I've already read these 3 volumes. This is a reread, but I'm doing a very detailed, as you can see from the tabs right here, I'm doing a very detailed read of this, and I am also watching the anime while I do this. So it is a much slower process. I am vlogging it, and I'm doing it in small chunks. So I'm not reading all of this at one time and doing a vlog. I'm actually separating it into even smaller chunks than that, and reading it and talking about it and watching the anime and seeing how things kind of correlate to each other. But I would like to go ahead and finish this before December 31st. Now, is it possible? Yes, it's just 3 volumes. It just looks bigger than what it is because of the fact that it is in an omni form. We have 1, 2, and 3 bound up, but 3 volumes is not excessive. It feels excessive, but it's not. I think what will take me the longest in this series is the fact that I am reading it with a more critical eye. Because just the lore behind this, and the more that I watch other people kind of detail their experiences reading One Piece, you see how ingenious like the actual work itself is. Oda is, from what I heard, it just does some like phenomenal things with this. And so I'm paying closer attention to some things, looking at some very significant like points in the plot and character development. I even started noting like the first time we even encounter his first enemy, kind of tackling and looking at his first rivals, his first companions, the very character that influenced him into becoming a pirate. So it's been an interesting journey reading this. So I'm hoping that I can, even if I don't get every video up related to this by the end of the year, I'm hoping that I can at least film all of this stuff and, you know, be prepared to drop videos next year if that's the case. All right, y'all, those are my 10 before the end. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of the titles I mentioned, or let me know what your 10 before the end are. And I'm hoping, maybe I will save these books for like the last couple of weeks of December and vlog it. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. I'm not making any promises here, but we'll see how things go. And I will be back with another video soon. All right, y'all.